thinking about joining competitive dance, but you're worried about the price. Let's break it down for you today so you know exactly what to expect before committing. I'm Anjali, and I love to help dance parents go from stressed and a bit confused to prepared and confident. So if you're wondering if competition dance is the right fit for your family, you're in the right place. Let's go. When my dancer first joined the competition dance world, I had no idea what to expect. I was excited about the costumes. I was excited about her performing on stages. I was blinded by all those things. So I didn't even really think about what the cost would be. And I wish I would have had somebody to sit me down and walk me through what I could expect, at least with regard to the main cost. And so that's what I'm going to do here in this video for you today. The one thing that I want to preface before I go into explaining is that a dance studio, being on a competition dance team, is just like any other service. It's like a daycare, it's like a cell phone service. Those charges and what they decide to charge you are going to vary greatly depending on a lot of different factors, depending on what they're providing you, depending on where you live, if you live in the country or if you live in a big major city. Costs are going to greatly vary. So you need to keep that in mind. I would recommend that once you understand what the main costs are, that you schedule a meeting or send an email or just ask for a quick phone call so you can understand what those costs are going to be at the particular studio that you are at. A recital outfit in Tampa, Florida could be different than a recital outfit in New York City or California. So just make sure that you understand that you may need to have a conversation. I recommend you having a conversation with the dance team director, with the studio director, so you can really have a better understanding of what to expect. And so that you're going in there as prepared as you can possibly be. So we're going to walk through 4 main costs that you can expect in competition dance and just make sure that you're aware of these things so that you're already prepared before you even make a decision. So let's get ready to get into the very first one. The very first main cost that is associated with competition dance is going to be your monthly tuition and any fees that are going to be occurring monthly. Your dancer could be taking anywhere from 3 to 4 classes a week. And so you're going to be paying a monthly fee based off of how many classes they're taking. You're also going to want to know if your dancer is making a certain particular team at your studio. Are there other classes like technique classes that are required? You may be, for example, required to have your dancer take a acro class or a ballet class. And so you want to make sure that you know, okay, my dancer is going to be there and taking 8 hours a week, and that's going to equal out to this particular amount per month. In addition to the actual classes for your groups, for the performances that your dancer will be taking, you may also be interested or you may also be offered a solo, a duo, or a trio. Those also, depending on how often your dancer will be practicing those routines, those also will come with perhaps a monthly fee as well. So you need to make sure that you understand that you're going to be paying for classes, for learning routines, possibly for extra technique courses, and or solo duo trios if your dancer is interested or offered one. Some studios offer unlimited. If you meet a certain number of hours, then you can it's capped at a particular amount, and then you can take unlimited classes. So it just depends. You're going to want to make sure you know that going in because that's going to be the main bulk of what you're paying your studio every month. The next cost that you can always anticipate paying for your dancer to participate in competition dance is going to be your competition fees. This is going to vary, like I said, greatly depending on the area and depending on the competitions that you go to. Each competition is going to have their own fees that they charge. And so that's going to then be passed on to you and your dancer. So let's say that your dancer is in 3 routines this year and a duet. Let's say they're going to the dance a lot competition. At the dance lot competition, they're going to be charged a competition fee for each of the 3 routines that they're entered in. And they will also be charged a competition fee that will be split amongst the 2 people in your dancer's duet. So one particular competition for dances, you're going to be paying a competition fee to that competition or to your studio rather for each of those dances. For one particular competition, you're paying 4 competition fees. Then let's say throughout the year, throughout the dance season, you're also going to 2 other competitions. You're going to still be paying those same 4 competition fees to your studio for each competition. I recommend you ask the studio just so that you're aware, is there any admin fees that are going to be added onto these competition fees? You may also be charged from your dance studio an additional $15, $20 or whatever it could be for an admin fee. That's going to be taking into account the time that the studio has to take all of the administrative work to enter your dancer, make sure all the information is correct in the system at that particular competition. So there could be an admin fee added on to the competition fees that your studio has to pay and that therefore is passed on to you. As long as you're aware of these costs coming up and as long as you're having conversations with your dance studio, asking them for this information and they should be providing it to you, you know what to expect. But sometimes when you just get into the world of competition dance, you don't even think about all the little costs to run competitions, to have awards, to have facilities being rented for competitions. You don't think about all of that. And that cost is going to be passed on to you, the dance parent. One word of advice that I would give is don't succumb to the FOMO factor. The FOMO factor meaning don't succumb to the feeling of having a fear of your dancer missing out. There's always going to be another dance, there's always going to be another season perhaps, but the opportunity to be in a dance is just that, an opportunity. You can take it or you can leave it. So just because a dance is offered to you doesn't mean that you necessarily have to take it unless that particular dance, let's say at your studio, is required. But some dances are going to be optional, they're going to be offered to you, and you can turn them down. And sometimes it's a great idea to turn them down if you know that financially you need to be more cognizant and aware of how many dances your dancer does, because that comes with a lot of different things. For each routine, you're going to have a lot of different fees associated. So you want to be aware that it's okay to say no. Make sure your dancer knows it's okay to say no. For example, my daughter, my dancer this year, there was an extra dance that was offered to her. And I just said, you know what? We're going to have to turn that one down this year. This year, we're only going to do this set number in your duet. And that's great. That's fine. Let's just pour all your energy into these dances that we're going to commit to. And we're just going to give the other opportunity for the other dance to some other people and let them have a great moment in it. And she can cheer them on and she can be proud of them, even though she's not there. So it's okay to say no. It's okay to understand that sometimes not every opportunity that's offered to you, you should have to take, and don't feel like you need to take it. It's your opportunity to be an advocate for your dancer, be an advocate for your family, and do what's best for your family. That leads me into the next major cost of competitive dance, and that's going to be your costumes and your accessories. It's going to depend very, very greatly on your studio culture and what dancers prefer at your studio as to whether you're going with more of a wise man costume, which is going to be like your catalog costume, or you're going to go with custom costumes, where meaning you find a custom designer to make one of the kind type of costumes for your dancer each season when you're on a competitive dance team. So you're going to have your costume per your routine. So let's say your dancer is in, again, the 3 routines. So they're going to have 3 routines within their group dances, and then their duet is also going to have another costume. That costume could possibly be, if it's duet, solo, or trio, it could possibly be something that they decide or you guys decide we want to make custom. So that's going to come with an additional cost that you have to be prepared for. You have to be expecting to pay. In addition to your costumes, you're also going to have, of course, your shoes. And depending on what kind of routine it is, you could need ballet shoes, you can need jazz shoes. With jazz shoes, my daughter this year in particular, she's got a song that has black jazz shoes, she's got a song that has tan jazz shoes. And then also keep in mind of this, that with things like shoes, okay, you get your costume, and your costume's going to be something that you purchase once. It's not going to be something you purchase multiple times because they're not going to wear it that often. But the shoes, the season starts, let's say, in August. Your dancer is going to be wearing those jazz shoes, those ballet shoes, all the way until January or December. And then let's say that's when your competitions actually begin. By then, you need to buy new shoes just so that they're ready and they look perfect and clean and fresh for the stage. You may need to buy 1 or 2 pairs of jazz shoes just to get your dancer through the entire season. Your dancer could possibly grow. Their shoe size that they wear at the beginning of the season and the shoe size that they wear by the time it gets to the competition could vary greatly, and maybe they need a bigger size shoe. In addition to the costumes, you're going to have accessories. So your accessories are going to range from your earrings, any hair pieces that you may need, a tiara or a headband or something like that. Those are going to be added costs as well that you can expect to pay per routine in order to have your dancer look uniform with all of the rest of their teammates. Costs for the costumes and accessories can vary greatly, but you just need to understand that those are things that are going to come and they're going to be per routine. Some routines are going to be pretty simple. Keep in mind that particular dances or routines could have more than one costume. For example, this year, my dancer is in a production routine. In her production routine, she's got 4 costumes. She's got 4 costumes within this production routine. That's a charge that we have to pay for. Luckily, she has the same pair of shoes through the entire routine, but there are also girls in our production in this particular routine that have 2 different pair of shoes that they have to wear. So it just varies greatly. So just make sure that your mind is open and prepared for something that you may not be expecting, because each season the routines can vary and they can change, and the requirements that are going to be required by your studio can vary greatly. So just keep your mind open and be prepared for that. The final cost that I'm going to go over in this video is going to be your travel expenses. You're going to be doing travel, perhaps. It depends on your studio. Again, if your studio does local competitions, then maybe not. You don't have to worry too much about travel or hotel accommodations. But if your studio likes to travel 1, 2 hours or get on planes, whatever the studio preference is, that's going to be something that you're going to have to take in consideration. That's going to be something that you're going to want to ask your studio. Hey, how many competitions do we do each year? How far and how often am I going to have to travel for the team? And make sure that you're aware of those things before you sign on the line and get your dancer excited and involved, because those are things that you're going to be having to pay for, and you're going to need to make sure that you have the money allocated for those particular expenses. Travel expenses are going to be one of the major things that you're going to want to know beforehand. Keep in mind that it depends on where your competition is located. So our first competition of the season, ours was about 2 hours away. And we were like, yeah, let's go ahead and get a hotel because, we don't know what the call time will be. And if we're down there closer, then we don't have to worry about rushing. We don't have to worry about running into potential traffic. So luckily for us, we had booked a hotel for the whole weekend. And that Saturday, when my daughter had her first performance, her call time actually ended up being at 7:15 a.m. So we were already there, or we were 10 minutes away from the hotel, and it was perfect. So we got up about 6 o'clock and we were able to roll over there and get there by 7:15. Her first performance wasn't until around 9. So we had time for hair and makeup at the venue. Keep in mind that even if a competition is close and not like 5 hours, 6 hours away, there still just might be times where you want to be closer to the venue just for convenience, just for ease for yourself and your dancer. Those are things you want to have conversations with your dance studio about, just so you have a better understanding of what to expect and what to prepare for. Those are the 4 main things you can expect to pay. So you just want to make sure that you're aware of those things. Write those things out so that you have an idea of what to expect. Have a conversation with your studio, have a conversation with the dance team, director, just to make sure that you are fully aware what your particular studio charges, because it's going to vary greatly due to a number of factors. I'm going to leave you with 3 tips that's going to greatly help you prepare for a competition dance season. The first one is going to be create a dance savings account. This could be just an account that before you even sign on the line for competitive dance, that you just start throwing some money over there, $5, $10, whatever you can put aside, just to help with maybe unexpected costs, to help with tuition costs, to help with having to buy that extra set of jazz shoes that your dancer has outgrown their old ones. The second tip that I would say is make sure that if you do decide to go with competitive dance, make sure that you're aware, have it on your calendar, have it written down somewhere, all of the fees that you can expect to be coming your way. Make sure that you know that what's coming up so that you have a better awareness of when those fees are due, and just keep yourself better prepared with what's coming up or what's stacking up in your bill. The final thing that I want to make sure you remember to do is be aware of the small little costs. You're going to be buying eyelashes. You're going to be buying their earrings. You're going to be buying their lipsticks. This is where the savings account that you're setting up, the dance savings account, can help with those expenses, but just keep track of them, or space them out as the competition season is getting underway. I hope this video helped you in some way to have a better understanding of the main costs when you're signing your name on the dotted line to sign your dancer up for the competitive dance world. I'm also going to be working on another video that's going to go over some of the hidden costs that you can expect with regard to signing up for the competitive dance world, so that you have a better understanding of how to have conversations with your studio, how to have conversations with your dancer and your family, so you can better understand if the competitive dance world is a right fit for your family at all. That's what I'm here for. I want to make sure that you're as prepared, as confident as you can, so that both you and your dancer can shine through. I'll see you in the next one.